Yes, guys, thank you very much for watching this show with myself and Julien Lawrence. Please make sure you go back to watch the previous video with myself and Julien, but also this week's episode with Vibe with Five.
For you, listen to Casemiro's comments the other day, after the game, talking about the way that they're trying to play. There's a style that they're trying to get to. The manager's trying to implement, and obviously these things take time. You can't expect the manager to come in and overnight. It all just changes.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's Joel Bear, and we are back for another 5 Reacts with myself and Mr. Julien Lawrence from ESPN. You okay?
Yeah, good. And you?
I'm doing great. We did a nice little video earlier on this week on Karim Benzema winning the Ballon d'Or. And this time we're back looking at other top players, Mbappe and Haaland. How much would it cost for them to move? You know, we discussed Mbappe last week, you know, when apparently he wasn't happy and he could potentially be going back to Real Madrid. But I want to know what the numbers are, because I've got some notes down. Please feel free to help me here. I also spoke to Jake outside. We got a release clause here. He's got a release clause for...
So the release clause is for Erling Haaland.
Haaland.
City, yes.
Is it 200 million?
Yeah, in the summer 2024. So after that, if someone comes in and put the money on the table, then if he wants to go, he will be able to go. For Mbappe, there's no release clause per se right now, but we know that PSG would ask around 150, 200 million. So let's say that in terms of transfer fees, they will cost the same.
So my question is, before we start looking into like the details of the numbers, when I see this release clause, I almost feel like Haaland's holding out for Real Madrid, because I don't see any other club. He's not going to go to PSG. You know, he's not going to go to any other teams in the UK. It could only be one club.
Maybe not just one. I think Real Madrid
Barcelona and selling another percentages of Spotify.
No, you're right. Maybe not Barcelona, but I think a club like PSG might try to get that money together to sign him. He might not want to go anywhere, but it looks like certainly right now the team with the most money outside of Newcastle City and PSG, who are owned by states, are Real Madrid, and they've got that power financially to sign someone like Haaland. To pay that release clause, like they were ready to welcome Kylian Mbappe last summer as well. And then maybe most importantly, outside of that release clause, Joe, is that they should have enough money as well to pay the wages, because transfer fees are one thing when it comes to buying a footballer or signing a footballer, but the biggest is then the wages, really, because that's over the length of the contract, and then agent fees, signing on fees, whatever else you want. So
this is interesting to me, because you got Haaland and everyone said bargain, £63 million, which I do believe is a bargain, because obviously he's a generational talent. But they're paying quite a lot when it comes to salary per week, right?
Yeah, that's right. That was the release clause that I think very cleverly Haaland and his father, his people, and Mino Raiola, the agent that he had at the time, put in the Borussia Dortmund contract. Say, we can come to you after Salzburg, no problem, but then we are demanding a release clause of £63 million for, whenever people want to buy him, and that was the deal. So there would not be a Dortmund asking for silly money, or it's very clear. There's a release clause, you pay it, the player is allowed to leave.
And then that means that his salary is higher. So what is he currently on at City?
Yeah, so I believe he's around the £700,000 a week, which is obviously a lot of money over the 5 years of his contract. We're talking £180 million in terms of just wages. For
so that's not including bonuses, people?
No, just for Erling Haaland. So if Real Madrid wanted, and you think he would be looking for a pay rise, of course, when you move clubs, usually, especially if you're a player like Haaland, you get a pay rise. So you can just imagine that Real Madrid will have to be ready to pay around maybe 200 million, if not more, in only wages for the 5 years of the duration of his contract if he signs a 5-year deal.
That's crazy. So let's just take it one little step further. We don't want to confuse you here, but it's just numbers. In the UK, if you're paying that salary, let's just say 180 over 5 years, you've also got national insurance to pay.
Yeah, you pay the taxes over it, so it costs you twice what you give the player. So 360 million.
So yes, it was 63 million for it, but overall, you're looking at over 300 million, 350 million. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. But this is the range for a Haaland, for an Mbappe. If you, from a City point of view, what you're hoping is that not only will win you trophies, and I think we can say that it's looking good certainly, but two, that more sponsor will want to come and work with you as a football club, so bring you money because you've got Erling Haaland, because you're the best team in the world, because he's one of the best players in the world.
Closes the gap.
Exactly. And then also, it's not selling shirts worldwide. It's not going to cover you what you pay him in terms of wages, but certainly those kind of deals will help you. Any merchandising, any sort of things that you can bring, more TV rights money, all of that will help you cover the cost of Erling Haaland in terms of wages and transfer fees.
Will he have a percentage when it comes to merchandise, do you reckon?
No, I don't think so. The only thing that he will have is the image rights, which every player now kind of negotiate individually with players. So some share them with their club, so 50-50. So if a club, sign a sponsorship deal with, I don't know, a brand, then some of the players get a bit of that image rights. Some clubs keep it all for themselves. It very depends. But apart from that, there's nothing else. There might be bonuses for trophies won, for individual awards won. So like if you win the Ballon d'Or, usually you've got, you can have a bonus for that, 500,000, sometimes a bit more, for winning the Ballon d'Or, or for finishing top scorer, or for winning the Champions League, all of that. So yeah, the final bill will be even higher up than the 63 million of the release clause, plus the 180 million, let's say, of wages over the next 5 years.
That's incredible. Quickly looking at Mbappe.
Yeah.
So, he's saying he wants to leave, allegedly. That's going to cost Real Madrid quite a lot, because think about it, they would have got him for free 6 months ago.
Exactly.
Are they really going to want to pay 150 million or whatever it is that they're going to have to pay for him?
We'll have to see. So for Kylian, the numbers are very similar. Haaland and Mbappe, who are the heir really to Cristiano and Messi, are right now on a similar path. One is slightly younger in terms of age, but otherwise similar path, similar numbers in terms of how much it would cost you, how much wages he earns. The bonuses would be similar, the same. Same for Ballon d'Or win, for example, for Mbappe too. But you're right. Who can afford an Mbappe right now, like a Erling Haaland, to be fair? Would Real Madrid be happy to have to pay all that money now when they almost had him for free 6 months ago? I'm not so sure. Mbappe is calming things down now, saying that he never asked to leave, or not yet, and that he's happy in Paris. But we know the reality is different. So January, I don't think it will happen. But for next summer, when he will only have 1 year left on his contract at PSG, I think then there will be a few clubs maybe positioning themselves for Mbappe. But we talk about similar numbers anyway.
Wow. So how long was the extension? So you're saying that he will only have 1 year left?
Yeah, because he signed a 2+1 extension deal. So he was very clever in the way he did it.
Footballers this season, I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. Whilst we're still on the Mbappe topic, the last question I want to ask, and this was something that came up a few weeks ago. He didn't want to pose, remember, in the last international duty with certain sponsors. Yeah. Was that because he didn't believe in what those sponsors stood for, or do you reckon he was just flexing his muscles a little bit?
I think both. You're right. It's a good question. He doesn't want his image to be associated with junk food. Yeah. With betting and gambling. And the national team has 2 sponsors. We don't have to name them. You can they easily you can find out easily. So he's saying, you as a French federation and the national team, you sign a deal with those brands. But I didn't sign a deal with those brands. I don't want my image and my photo on those photo shoots. So the thing here to avoid this issue is that the national team and the French Federation, the way they sign the sponsorship deal, have to incorporate a bit more the opinion of the players. So, what do you think if we sign with this brand? Are you all happy? Would you all want to participate in the photo shoot, in the ad campaign with those brands? Yes, no, because right now Mbappe, and to be fair, it was followed by the whole squad, was saying, right now we just have to go along with anything that you say. Oh, come and do these photos with this car brand. Come and do this with this gambling company. But if we don't want to, then we're stuck. We still have to go along. So things are changing, and I believe that, and Mbappe is very happy that things are changing, but I also think they're changing for many more players around the world, at national team level, at club level, because the argument is the same for clubs. Your club is signing with these gambling
or an alcohol company. I've seen Sadio Mane take pictures, and he might not have the alcohol in because he doesn't believe in it.
The beer in his hand, he didn't want to. And I think that's fair and that's right. And I think a lot of clubs, more than national teams, maybe are understanding But things have to change because you can't just sign on behalf of players, but you don't ask them what they think about it.
Man, guys, we just wanted to take a comparison look at Haaland and Mbappe, the numbers. Yes, we're pocket watching a little bit, but let us know what you think in the comments and who else you would like us to analyze with Julien Lawrence. We've had a great time here today. Thank you very much to yourself and ESPN. We will be back with more content coming soon. Joel Bayer, Julien Lawrence signing out. Peace.
Last season, United playing out made me want to smash my head off anything hard, right? Yesterday, we played good football from the back. We moved it through the thirds with a high degree of quality and technicality. That little triangle in the centre of Martinez, Casemiro and Varane has just totally transformed Manchester United. We now look like we know what we're doing.